The Ambrosian Library is a historical powerhouse, and the website is a great resource to learn about its collection. However, your time in Milan is probably limited, so the purpose of this video is to walk you through the experience and to answer the question, is the Ambrosian Library worth it? To properly answer this question, I will show you the most intriguing parts of what awaits you and let you make that decision for yourself. But in my humble opinion, the Ambrosian Library is one of the most underrated places to see in Milan. It doesn't cost much, and you can get lost gazing at paintings from artists you've read about in history books, or even see plans written by Leonardo da Vinci himself. Even if you're not an art historian, you may be drawn to the rich cultural diversity of the collection, reflecting hundreds of years of various cultures, even from other continents. If you're a fan of interior or architectural design, as my wife is, you may be drawn to the intricate inlay flooring and gorgeous marble pillars found throughout this treasure trove. My personal advice for exploring the Ambrosian Library is to get a good idea of what you really want to see, and don't spend too much time looking at paintings that are of only partial interest. Genevieve and I went into it rather blind and ended up spending a lot of time in just the first couple of rooms, not realizing that there are 19 plus rooms accessible in the Ambrosian Library. There's also the room of the Dantesque stained glass window, the room of Bombaia, hallways on the first and second floors that look out over the courtyard of great spirits, the red staircase, Aula Leonardi, and Sala Federiciana, which is the famous reading room. The first thing to understand about the Ambrosian Library is that its contents are divided into two main groups: Biblioteca Ambrosiana, which is a library of religious and literary texts, maps, drawings, and diagrams, and Pinacoteca Ambrosiana, which features all of the paintings, drawings, and statues, as well as other interesting artifacts. In other words, this place is huge, and there is so much to see and study. Please take a moment to like and subscribe for more videos on the sights, sounds, and flavors of Italy. Now, back to the video. We'll begin with the highlights of the Pinacoteca. The Ambrosian Library was founded in 1607 with an unusual collection by Cardinal Federico Borromeo. His donation formed the Pinacoteca, and it has been acquiring magnificent pieces ever since. The most famous paintings that you'll see are Basket of Fruit by Caravaggio, and the original cartoon used to transfer the design of the School of Athens by Raphael onto a wall inside the Vatican. These cartoons don't usually survive as they are fragile and were never intended to endure, but this one is still here, making it an even more exceptional sight. The Pinacoteca also holds the only Da Vinci painting on wood in Milan, Portrait of a Musician. Sandro Botticelli is probably most famous for painting The Birth of Venus, which is held at the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, but Ambrosiano holds his Madonna of the Pavilion. This painting features the Virgin Mary and Child in front of a tent, or pavilion, with two angels opening the tent that represents the presence of God, thus revealing God's glory through the mystery of the incarnation of Christ. Titian was a highly influential painter, inspiring his contemporaries as well as Baroque painters from other countries that came to prominence years later. Titian produced a great number of works over his 70-year career. Perhaps that is why there is such a large collection of his in this library. Of Titian's paintings, you can expect to see Adoration of the Magi, Mary Magdalene, The Entombment of Christ, Man in Armor, a copy of Madonna and Child, St. John the Baptist, and St. Catherine of Alexandria, a copy of Self-Portrait, and a copy of Ecce Homo. There are several paintings from famous artists, and there are many paintings from lesser-known and even in some cases unknown painters. I would also like to add that seeing the gold paint and textures in person brings a new dimension of appreciation that doesn't really come through in pictures and prints. There are three artists that I had not yet heard of, which quickly became some of my favorites. Paul Bril painted beautiful landscapes, some of which feature a light take on biblical scenes, such as the conversion of St. Paul and landscape with St. John the Baptist. while Jan Brueghel the Elder had many paintings of a similar landscape style with much greater detail and intensity. His landscape paintings covered the extremities of themes and genre, including hell, the burning of Sodom, the glory of angels, the apostles on the Sea of Galilee, and Daniel in the lion's den. As well as the allegory of water and the allegory of fire. Brueghel the Elder also painted gorgeous still lifes of flowers and cathedral scenes. I also enjoyed his son's paintings, Jan Brueghel the Younger. The Younger shared a similar style as his father, but not quite as dark and intense. The two paintings featured from the Younger are Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and Original Sin, two paintings of identical size featuring scenes from the book of Genesis. There are several other noteworthy paintings in the Pinacoteca, but there are also several interesting objects like this repurposed Memoratus shell, this ceremonial saddle and stirrups, display cases featuring the hair of Lucrezia Borgia, the Count of Cavour, and Federico Borromeo himself, armillary spheres from the 15 and 1600s, various statues, and a whole lot more. Now on to the Biblioteca. This collection of manuscripts and copies includes biblical codex and commentaries, rare books, maps, drawings, and autographs. Some of these pieces are even as old as the 5th century. There are many interesting works on display, and even if you are unfamiliar with them, it is still quite a marvel to carefully scan the ornate decorations of various illuminated manuscripts from the 14th century. The illuminated design utilized gold and silver and other materials in the ink to really make the stories come alive and guide people through the text. It was a style often used in Roman Catholic liturgical books up until the 1450s when the Gutenberg press was put into commercial use. But the real crown jewel of the collection is Leonardo da Vinci's Codex Atlanticus. It's the largest collection of drawings, autographs, and writings by Leonardo da Vinci. It consists of 1,119 folios that span Leonardo's intellectual life over a period of more than 40 years, from 1478 to 1519. You'll see a wide range of sketches on various subjects including mathematics, geometry, astronomy, military and civil architecture, war and civil machines, contraptions for mechanical and gliding flight, as well as hydraulic pumps and various instruments for lifting water and harnessing water power. Some are very rough sketches, others are very precise drawings. I have always personally been fascinated with Da Vinci, and it felt like quite a privilege to be able to see his handiwork in person. The Sala Federiciana is the famous reading room that hosts most of these works and is really the capstone of your experience at the Ambrosian Library. After you are finished peering at all of the detailed Da Vinci notes, you'll make your way into the gift shop where you can purchase these two books that perfectly detail everything you just experienced, as well as the things you missed or may have not been on display. You can really spend a lot of time in the Ambrosian Library, so plan accordingly. In my opinion, this experience is a total bargain and time well spent. You can get tickets through the Ambrosian Library website, but I recommend getting the package deal offered on the Duomo's website. I will make a tutorial that walks you through step by step on how to purchase these tickets and many things to note that aren't necessarily obvious before or after you get there. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to see more helpful and interesting travel videos. Arrivederci!